How you guys doing? We're talking about Talladega in this video. Just going to get some things out of the way really quick. First and foremost, my partner's getting baptized on Sunday, so I know for a fact I won't be live Sunday, and there's a real chance I won't be live on Saturday since I got to travel for all that stuff as well. So this should be, or I'm pretty sure this will be the first plate race that I will not have any live streams for, which is, I'm kind of disappointed in that, but not in a sense of like, oh, we're really missing out. Everybody knows how I play and stuff like that. Like, it's not necessarily a shocker and stuff like that. The few things I want to go over really fast is that now yet again, when we're looking at the entry list of both these races and stuff, and I'm more so interested on Xfinity, and so yet again, when everything comes down to what are we playing DFS for, okay? My goal is to win one contest a year in NASCAR DFS, which I've been able to do at least, or at the very least I've been able to win at least solo win one contest out of the 96 or so slates a year the last 3 years, okay? So option one, I'm usually able to do that. Two, when we're chasing to try and take down contests in NASCAR DFS, which is one of the more volatile sports out there, okay, embracing the variance and I mean, we talk about this on a week in and week out basis, whether it be short tracks or intermediates or whatever. Like, the volatility of this series or this sport is always going to be apparent, okay? When we multiply that with, or we at least, we take our concepts that we use from there, and then we look at, the plate races to where realistically, when you look at, and especially now since we have less practice, less time, for these kids, these literal infant children to practice and learn what the car is going to do in situations like this. When we actively have team owners, i.e., Dale Earnhardt Jr., who has gone on the record and which now it makes sense of why Junior Motorsports nearly almost always wrecks in these races and wrecks themselves. He has for years told all his racers to go about this as if they are just going out go-karting. Like, the amount of skill in these races are few and far between, okay? And so when we combine all that together, when we then look at, the realistic chance of 75 or 80% of the field being involved in a wreck in some form or fashion in these races, okay, we then move forward to, if everybody has, an 80% chance of being involved in a crash, why not just play the people who aren't as highly owned as other drivers, okay? And hope that variance, takes those guys out and takes the lower owned drivers that you have out, okay? Yet again, that's where we come, into plate races, or at least the way I want to talk about it. Obviously, I'm not going to show much on the screen. We'll kind of talk about, Daytona and stuff. But, it's a plate race. Play the guys in the back of the field. I have hours and hours and hours upon videos talking about how I build, walking you through. I have a playlist that I've pretty much always attached to these videos. I won't do it here just because I don't want to annoy people across the board. But if you go to my channel, or if you go to any of the previous play racing videos on this channel, you will see the playlist in the description. This Xfinity Series race last year is the one I solo took down across the board for like $25,000 or 24, somewhere around that last year. And all we have to do, or all that you need to do, is just take the guys who don't get involved in crashes. When we look at this field, and I'm more interested in the Xfinity Series, because when we look at the Cup Series with the 39 guys, right, we're obviously going to have, most likely, as long as Q isn't cut out due to rain, most of the time people should qualify where they should be at. And then if they don't, obviously we can identify the chalk. But whatever, I'm more interested in this field. So let's just go down the field in terms of good or bad plate racer. Okay? Yet again, how they race. We're not necessarily looking at finishes. What are their tendencies? What do they do? Like, obviously, Sheldon Creed, Carson Quaffle, Jesse Love, all expect to run up front. Obviously, Jesse Love and Austin Hill are probably the two favorites to win this race straight up because they know what they're doing, combined with the equipment they have. But I guess not looking at these guys if they're good or bad, but where do they plan on racing up front? So up front. We see Parker Retzlaff typically be up front. We're going to ride, up front. In the middle of the field, ride, up front / middle. William Sawalich has been absolutely horrendous across the board in literally everything he's been in this year, so, I don't know why we'd want to play him. Eric Almirola wants to do up front. Jeffrey Earnhardt most likely going to be up front. Harrison Burton wants to run up front. Dean Thompson's going to be in the middle of the field. Jeb Burton, Kyle Sieg, Jake Garcia. Yet again, Garcia has to qualify his way in since we have 41 guys fighting for 32 spots. But I would envision all the RSS guys, all the Jordan Anderson guys, all the Joey Gase cars, the Young Motorsports, Pool, or the Alpha Beta Prime guys, they're going to ride. Nick Sanchez is going to be up front. Jeremy Clements has put himself in dangerous situations quite a lot in these races. I'm not a big proponent of him, even if he's starting in the backfield. He typically runs into issues here. Going to ride, be up front, ride. Question mark around Leland. I would assume with the Cope family should ride. I don't even know if he'll make the field. Ryan Ellis should ride. Austin Green should ride up front. Jesse Iwuji should be in the backfield 2 laps down, and Matt Benedetto should be up front. Okay, now why is that important? Yet again, we're just going very quickly through this field. We typically don't want to play guys who are going to be up front because they have the highest chance to be involved in wrecks. If we play the guys in the back of the field, we need the guys up front to be involved in crashes in order for them to gain positions. If they don't do that, either A, the guys in the back who should run the back all day wreck themselves in the back of the field, they won't gain positions. If the guys up front don't wreck and we end under lights, we end under rain, we just go fucking green the whole time, the good cars who start in the back of the field, good cars, i.e., good equipment, good teams, Junior Motorsports, RCR, Joe Gibbs and the like, that's what I mean by good cars. If they start in the back of the field and they go to where they should finish in this race in terms of in terms of skill, speed, and stuff like that, we don't see wrecks, they should finish up front, whatever the case may be. Yet again, I've gone through this for forever. Now, I do want to mention that, at least personally, as we're going to kind of review Daytona really fast, Daytona was one where it was one of those weekends, yet again, when we're looking at weeks or races rather, or even situations where, when people wreck out or whatever, Daytona I kind of just lit money on fire. Certainly a weekend to where, the stack on the back, or at least the way that I approach it, was pretty bad. If you look up front or look at the top, you see a bunch of red and oranges and stuff. If they're red, that means a driver was taken out and they affected each of these individual lineups. If it was orange, most likely a guy lapped down or somebody I was concerned about at the time. We see a lot of red lineups pretty much dead on arrival. Not a good truck race. Not a good Xfinity weekend, as I rarely had any lineups even survive these races, and the same thing for the 500. I had quite a lot of people be involved in crashes with Helio, Martin Truex Jr., Gregson, Josh Berry, and really a lot of the guys I was overweight on get caught up in accidents. So I completely got eviscerated at Daytona, which I'm perfectly okay with if that is the case when guys are taken out, whatever the case may be. It did not work for Daytona. We typically see, now, again, I don't count Atlanta because I think it's a different style of racing, okay? Just my opinion where I'm at. Usually, if the stack from the back hasn't worked or didn't work, or people, oh my gosh, I lost my ass at Daytona or whatever, right? And then they, it happens again at Talladega or whatever the case may be. The following plate race has a slight decrease in the amount of people committed to that. And you start seeing more people, play guys up front or whatever, or starting higher up and stuff. I just always commit to playing guys in the back of the field and playing and trying to just be overweight on the guys that nobody is playing. Now we are seeing a bit of a transition of the guys who used to be 3, 5, 7% are now 15, 18, 22%, which whatever, I'm perfectly fine with. I don't have an issue with duplications at all in these races, but keep that in mind since I just won't, we won't be live to discuss where ownership will go. I might try and it's going to really depend on what's going on Saturday. I might be live, might not. At the moment, it's a no, but I don't know. But yet again, it's just a Daytona race, or it's a plate race. Hope your guys don't be involved in an accident. Lean into the amount of volatility that these places have. Play the guys in the back of the field. That's mainly it. I don't think I'm saying anything that hasn't been said before. But as somebody who has won numerous plate race and GPPs by just always committing to this, I'm perfectly okay with that. Really, past that, I just want to talk very quickly, mainly on the Xfinity Series race, just because I think that's the one that's more fun to build for. Now it sucks that we're already February 24th. We're already at the 10,000 people Xfinity Series contest. It's already dropped quite a lot. It's only 20,000 up for grabs. But what are we gonna do? Yeah, that's mainly. I just kind of wanted to talk really fast and say I wasn't doing a live show and play the guys in the back of the field. Yeah, see you guys later.